All right, everyone, now that we've talked about Facebook groups, we're going to finally hit on the big one, and that is building your email list. The reason we covered all those different things first is because the email list is truly the last step. You go from idea to deciding, okay, how do I get more listeners? And then you get the listeners, and then you got to have a way to turn them into super fans. That's what the Facebook group does. And then the final step is the getting them on your email list. And the reason this step goes after the one about getting people in your Facebook group is because for some people who are just hearing review the first time, it's a little harder to get them to commit to joining your email list. While it's easier to get them to join the Facebook group, there's more incentive because there are listeners in that group. And if you do giveaways and you mention that, that's going to get a lot of attention as well. So now we have the email list. And the first thing we're going to do is leverage the Facebook group. Now, you don't want to share links all the time, but if you share a link like every month, maybe, that's going to be useful. You could put a opt-in page and get subscribers that way. One of the things I've seen people do is they will pin to the top of their Facebook group board feeds, basically something that says, do you want this free video series or this free report or this free book, this free offer? They mention that and they pin it. So new members who go there for the first time, they see that offer. And this is huge for getting subscribers because people who go into that group often are going to see that same offer again and again. And a lot of those people, they're going to take action on that offer. What you can also do in your episodes is at the beginning promote something, an offer that allows you to grow your email list. So I usually promote my Advanced Influencer Mastermind, which has a 30-day free trial, a lot of interviews in it, growth videos in it. So if you want to learn how to grow and become an influencer, that mastermind is for you. I mentioned that in Breakthrough Success episodes at the beginning of the episode because that is currently one of the things that I want to drive a lot more exposure to. So you could do something like that at the beginning of your episode. And just one of the things I try to make them short. I've listened to podcast episodes where it's like a minute of ads and that's annoying for the listener. But at the same time, you want to tell people about your offer, tell people about that group, tell people to subscribe and leave a review. And you certainly can't do all those things in the beginning of every single episode. But you can spread them out across different episodes. So I make a script that takes me less than 10 seconds to read that allows me to promote my masterminds or anything else that I'm working on because I want to share that offer because I know it provides value because it allows me to continue my podcast because you got to monetize your podcast in order to continue it unless it's just a hobby, which, I mean, if you're this deep into the course, I'm sure you're thinking about money at some point. So you got to have a way to make money with your show, but you don't want to make it 2 minutes of ads in your podcast either. So that's a good mix for promoting something in your episode. It actually works a lot also just to have that Facebook group. And then finally, mentioning your show notes link. If you mention that link and you have a call to action in there to grow your email list, that is going to help you a lot. And I mean, as a bonus, make it a targeted call to action that grows the email list. So if you don't make the same call to action. So I have a book, 27 Ways to Get More Retweets, completely free, markguberti.com/retweets. But I don't lead with that in every episode because there are going to be some episodes where we're talking about personal development, which has nothing to do with Twitter based on some of the conversations. Like Twitter is not referenced like even once unless I were to insert that, get your free ebook 27 ways to get more retweets on Twitter. But what I do for something like that instead is I promote something more related to personal development. I promote something related to the episode that we are doing at that time. And in a lot of cases, it's the Advanced Influencer Mastermind. That's just how it works based on the guests I get, based on the kinds of topics that we do on Breakthrough Success. But you want to have different offers you can promote. If you only have one right now, I would just stick with that offer or lead people into that Facebook group, ask for the subscribe and review, but eventually you should have multiple offers in play where you can build your email list that way. Your email list is truly the most valuable asset you have online because it's the one that you have complete control over. I mean, on Udemy, One of the things with that is you're only allowed to send a limited amount of emails each month, and you can't promote things outside of Udemy, like a way to get them on your email list or something like that. So there are certain restrictions they have in play. Teachable is a lot more free flowing. You have a lot more control over the back end, over communicating with your students, which I believe is something very important. Like also social networks, Facebook changes their algorithm like tomorrow, let's say, what happens next. But the email list is the one thing that you truly control, which is why you want to focus on it. And to really get people on your email list from your podcast, you have to do all those different things that we mentioned earlier. So you are getting listeners on your show. Once you have the listeners in play and you're optimized to get people on your email list, that is going to grow. And that is usually going to be the big money maker, because then you can promote your products and affiliate offers on your email list and get a much better conversion than if you're like sending tweets about it, or if you're promoting like this $1,000 course or whatever it is on your podcast, because email converts better than anything else online, unless it's like a phone call, which, I mean, I don't consider that online. That's just like one-on-one conversation, but email converts better than almost every other option. And you definitely want to think about, how am I going to get my listeners on my email list?